Hi Paddy and Des, you're very welcome to Sculbhríde here in Paulstown. My name is Brian Healy, I'm the new principal here. We've always been very passionate in Sculbhríde about ESD and we're also a green school. And I'm wondering what tips and tricks you could give us to help promote the Green Schools initiatives and to give the children a sense of respect for their environment and respect for the earth through gardening.
Hello Paddy, I'm Kate O'Connor and I teach 4th class here in Sculbhríde. Deirdre Lennon teaches the other 4th class and Aisling Brennan is the 3rd class teacher. Would you be able to tell us what we could maybe do in springtime to help our garden grow this year?
So thanks Aisling and Deirdre and Kate there for your query regarding what to plant and so in 3rd and 4th classes. So with 3rd class I would sow carrots with them. Children love eating raw carrots, it's very good for them. And you can actually grow them in March, would you believe it, in a dustbin. Now indoors in the classroom, now the peat-free compost that they'll be growing in, it needs to be a constant 10 degrees centigrade before carrots will germinate. That's why carrots are usually sown outdoors later, maybe in April or May, but we're getting them going in the classroom. This is a soil thermometer, a very useful piece of scientific equipment to have in your classroom, especially if you're growing carrots. And we have a link down below on growing them in a dustbin in the classroom. And so you thin the carrots to about 5 centimeters apart when they're 8 centimeters high, and then you place them outdoors after hardening them off for a week, bringing out the bin and bringing it in, and the children can watch them grow outside the classroom door. Now if a raised bed is used, which you can use as well if you have one free or lucky to have one, don't put in fresh compost now or manure. That should be done in autumn, because carrots do not like any kind of fresh organic matter. Again, do the same thing, place the soil thermometer in the soil. When you get a constant 10 degrees centigrade, you can sow them in lines 20 centimeters apart. Now, the big problem with carrots, sowing them early, is the carrot root fly, both for the ones in the bin and for the ones outside. Now, the carrot root fly jumps into the bed and lays eggs around the carrots, and then when they hatch into grubs, they make tunnels in the carrots and destroy them. So how do we deter them? Well, the bin will, the dustbin, because the carrot root fly can't jump higher than a metre, so they can't jump into the bin. So that's one reason we sow them in a bin. So there's a little bit of a science for you. Now if you're growing them outside in a bed in April, late March or April, you do need to put, after sowing them, about 20 in lines, 20 centimeters apart, you do need to cover the bed with hoops. This is a hoop, you can get them in garden centres, and you can see it, this, and a bed will require about 3 of them stuck into the ground, and then you put this bionet here. You put this, you make kind of a tunnel over the carrots to deter the carrot root fly. This will let water and light and air, and it also will keep it also keep them nice and warm in it. But it's called bionet, and you can buy it in a garden centre or online. So when the carrots, again, like the dustbin, when they're about 8 centimeters tall, height 8 centimeters, you thin them to 5 centimeters between carrots. And make sure to compost the carrot seedlings, because that'll attract the scent of them will attract the carrot root fly. We move on now to what can be done in 4th class. And put away the bionet here first, And we're talking here about potatoes. Sometimes the fourth class do the great potato famine and got them more in their class, so planting potatoes is very good for them. So you plant chitted potatoes. These are first earlies now, remember, that's important because you want to harvest them in June. So second earlies would be later. So make sure to buy first early new potatoes such as Home Guard. And you can grow them in Hessian bags outdoors, or even in refuse bags, or you can grow them in potato grow bags, or you can grow them in a raised bed around St. Patrick's Day. But the first thing with them, in January, or early February, you'd want to start chitting them. That means taking the seed potatoes and putting them into egg cartons with the side with the most eyes or indentations here facing upwards, and leave it in a cool part of the classroom, not in direct light, and you'll get these lovely sprouts coming up, nice and short and fat and thick. These are helping you to get a head start on the potatoes so that we can harvest them in June before the summer holidays. So we have a link here below on both chitting new potatoes and growing them outside, and also in a grow bag. In this class too, you could, just for variety, sow chives indoors in 20 centimetre diameter pots like these, fill them up with peat-free compost here, and sow about 6 seeds per pot indoors, and then use this compost. Make sure the compost is sieved if you can, because the seeds actually work better. And again, these are delicious when chopped up and with the new potatoes in June. Then they could also sow pumpkin seeds indoors in May in 7.5 centimetre pots. These one pumpkin per pot. Always put the pumpkin seed, they're flat seeds, always put them on their side and they will grow better. Sow the seeds on the side and then plant them out in June, because they can't tolerate frost at all. Plant the little plants out in June, maybe in a bed vacated by the potatoes. Plant them 1.5 meters apart. They need plenty of room and to grow. So that's for third and fourth class.
Thanks, Paddy, for coming to visit third and fourth classes this year.
And we'll definitely get working on those suggestions in spring. Thank you.
Well, Paddy, I'm Margaret O'Neill and this is Conor Murphy, and we teach 5th and 6th class, and we were wondering, what would you suggest that we do in our classes in gardening this springtime?
So thank you, Conor and Margaret, for your question. For 5th, I'd recommend doing a science test, a fair test, which they will love, on potatoes, which they might have sown in 4th class. So it's the same procedure. Chit the potatoes indoors in January or early February, like this, and then you can plant them around St. Patrick's Day in different types of different grow bag mixtures. So in bag 1, you could just put soil only and just put in about 10 centimetres of soil and put 3 sprouted potatoes in, and then cover them, and when the stalks are growing, keep adding the mixture around the stems. Then in the next bag, that's the control. You could you could plant soil and garden compost, school compost, 50-50 mix. Mix it in together. Then the same thing, 3 potatoes in each one, and around St. Patrick's Day. And then in the third bag that you have, you could put in soil and peat-free compost. And again, the same mixture. And then the 4th bag, you could put soil and maybe a soil-based compost like John Ains number number 3, and again 50-50, and you monitor the growth. We have a video below on a fair test on growing potatoes. This class could also, if you wanted and you had space and beds, they could also sow a main crop potato, which they wouldn't be harvesting until after the summer holidays. Well, grow one that's blight free like Sapromyra, and that one you plant them in early April, plant them in 30 centimetres apart, plant them 30 centimetres apart in rows 60 centimetres between the rows and 15 centimetres deep, and they'll be ready to harvest in September when they come back from school. This class could also sow for just variety. We give you plenty of options, but you can take 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 of them, whatever you wish. You could sow wild rocket indoors, again in modular trays, 4 seeds per cell. And then when they come up like that, you can harden them off and plant them outside about 15 centimetres apart in a window box. And they're delicious to eat and to be eating. So that's what I would do with them with the 5th class. So children love doing science experiments, and especially fair testing, so we could do one of them as well with the 6th class. I'll just leave that out of the way, and this one here and there. So for them, we have great fun here, sourcing circular objects that are equal sized. And these I have taken the tops off plant pots, old plant pots, and I've got 9 of them because we will have to source 9 lettuces around the same height and size in April. April is a good time to do this experiment. So what happens in April is you will have the 9 lettuces growing in a bed or a big bag in the centre, and then you put this down over the lettuce. The lettuce will be in the centre, and then you put deterrents around it to deter foes. Like, I don't like calling them pests, like foes like slugs and snails from eating your lettuces. I think if you call them a pest, that makes them sound baddy, but a lot of slugs are actually quite good in the environment. And of course they feed frogs, don't they, and hedgehogs and a lot of other creatures. So around pot, circle 1, I place horsehair, chopped up, because the slugs don't like to be tickled seemingly. Then around the next one, chopped up garlic. They don't like the smell of garlic. Around the next rim, in the next rim and around the lettuce, I put straw. Again, that tickles them. The next one, crushed baked eggshells. Bake them for about 10 seconds. That makes them nice and brittle in the oven. So coffee grounds as well, they don't like them. Around in another rim, then you could put sheep's wool, grit, and chopped up seaweed. And what have we here? Razor shells got at the beach, and again chopped up. Make sure to use goggles if you're chopping them with a hammer, because the splinters can fly around the place. Again, monitor the results on sheets every single day, maybe over the course of 3 weeks, and come up with a result to see which of these deterrents here was the best at keeping the slugs and snails away from the lettuces. So that's an interesting one. So in early that class here, in early April or late March, they could plant strawberries in a metre-long window box, 5 plants per box. The best time really to plant them would be September, but you'll still get strawberries now in June. These would be June or summer strawberries. Put in a good rich mixture because strawberries are hungry feeders. 75% peat-free compost and 25% John Innes compost added. And this 6th class as well, they could also make scarecrows for the other beds and have great fun doing it. And we have a link below on how to make scarecrows.
Thank you very much, Paddy, for visiting our school here today and our 5th and 6th class pupils. You had some really interesting suggestions for us, and we'll certainly be very interested now in working on those in the coming year.